there's been quite a little bit of political uh, church-state drama going on in my little neck of the woods here recently. Um, some of it I've chronicled in the last couple of videos that I've made. I'll link them for you here to take a look at if you want to see. But basically, um, part of it is in my little town, which is like the second biggest town in the county. They've had an ongoing thing with the 4th of July celebration, fireworks celebration, which is not the city itself. It's a committee that does it, but the city gives them tax money and a public venue to use, and they've been infusing more and more religion into that program until finally I had to go to city council and talk about it. And I recorded that and posted it here on YouTube, and a lot of people have asked me about the follow-up on that. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to tell you a little bit about the follow-up on that. But before I get to that, I'm going to tell you about something else that's been going on that I wasn't even aware of until after I spoke to my city council. And that is that in the next town over, which is the biggest town in the county, they had commissioned a logo, an unofficial logo, to represent the city. The city is the home of the Franciscan University of Steubenville, which is the one of the biggest and best. It's a very good college. One of the best Catholic-owned colleges in the country, maybe next to Notre Dame. It's really good. It's a really good university for education, but it's also very. One guy called it incestuous, in that they stay unto themselves very much, and they like breed their own philosophy of what's going on, and they think the rest of the town thinks like they do, but the rest of the town really doesn't think like they do. They have their own little area up on the hill that they stay to, and they're buying out more and more property. They bought out a publicly owned golf course, which pissed off a lot of people. But anyway, so this logo incorporates the chapel for that university into it, and the chapel has a cross on top of it. And somebody from the town of Steubenville contacted the Freedom from Religion Foundation, and the Freedom from Religion Foundation contacted the city and said that they were subject to a lawsuit if they didn't do away with the logo, or change the logo. And so the city decided they would just do that rather than fight it in court. So they knew they'd lose, and it would just cost the city a lot of money. Well, now they're getting offers from lawyers, Catholic lawyers, to defend it pro bono. But even if they defend it pro bono, when they lose, the city still will have to pay the prosecuting team and the court costs, and who knows what else. They might even get penalized, and they'll have to make that payment. They won't have to pay the lawyer, but they'll still have to pay. So they're really not considering putting it back in place. They're kind of giving lip service, but I don't really think they're considering putting it back in. But I'm getting blamed for being the guy who contacted the Freedom from Religion Foundation, which is the funny thing about this. So here's what happened. I went to city council, spoke about the fact that they had gotten too religious. They actually burned a cross during the last fireworks show. And I thought that I was probably going to be the only person in town who felt the way that I feel. Well, I started getting support from all kinds of people telling me that they support it. There's a website, a local website, where they started blasting me for it, and other people started jumping to my defense. So I've been really pleasantly surprised by the number of people who have come to my defense about this. I have no fear that I can walk down the streets and be totally safe. I did hear that after I spoke to City Council, I know nothing was said during the meeting because I was there for the meeting, and afterwards when I left after when I first started, we picked up the whole business and started going on with the original meeting, so I left. A friend of mine who was at the meeting contacted me and told me that after the meeting, off the record, they had all kinds of things to say. Apparently, they don't feel that I should be speaking out for something like this in a small town. It'd be okay if it was Chicago or New York or LA, maybe even Dallas or Pittsburgh, to speak out like this, but not in a small town. You shouldn't be speaking out in a small town. Well, let me tell you something. Small town, big town, I'm not the one being arrogant here. I'm the one who's saying, look, you know you're not supposed to do it. You know you're not supposed to do it. You know that you're not supposed to do it. And you're doing it anyway because you think it's a small town so you can get away with it because nobody will say anything, because they'll feel like they can't say anything because they'll feel pressured to keep their mouths shut. I'm not going to feel pressured to keep my mouth shut. I'm not going to stay quiet. I'm right. You know I'm right. Everybody knows I'm right. And what's funny is one of the guys who's been most vocally criticizing me on the internet about this, somebody said something to him the other day about, well, you know he's right. And he said something like, I'm not arguing against his point. I'm arguing against his motives. He's not arguing against my point. Therefore, he knows my point is right. He's arguing against my motives. Well, I'm arguing against his motives. Aren't your motives just to be arrogant? Aren't your motives just to say, look, we can keep you down because we are the majority? That's your motive. And that's un-American. And that's what I'm speaking out about. So, for those who want to know what the consequence of the meeting was and the consequence of my speaking out, I've gotten a lot of support, more support than I thought I would. I've gained friends on Facebook over it. I've had people who I didn't think would support me message me and tell me that they support me. I've also had some long, interesting, hilarious arguments with the Profundis over this. Hilarious. I wish I could share it all with you. It's too funny. Yeah, in my opinion, everything has been better than I could have played. Uh, the fact that the confluence of my things and the Skibbergal thing came about at the same time was just crazy and serendipitous, if there's any meaning to that term. Yeah, so that's what's been going on. So, yeah, it's been fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes from here. But if anything else happens, I'll keep you informed. But for now, that's where it stands, and I probably won't be saying anything more about this, at least until next year's Independence Day. So, have a good one. Thank you.